After John Patrick Amama Mbabazi fell out with President Yoweri Museveni, his boss, for over 40 years, there were expectations that he would give a credible challenge to the president. For 30 years in power, President Museveni has had an undisputed reign as NRM party chairman. When Mbabazi, a former prime minister and Museveni's minister for many decades, fell out, he claimed massive support inside the ruling NRM party. For a man who was NRM Secretary General for about 10 years, Mbabazi seemed convincing. But as a presidential candidate, Mbabazi's campaign suffered a series of setbacks, including some prominent people who were named on the campaign team disassociating themselves from him. The presidential election results provided yet another blow. Mbabazi obtained less than 140,000 votes, or 1.4% of votes cast.
I voted for the best candidate.
According to Makerere University Don Professor Josephine Aichiri, Mbabazi's relevance on the political scene ended with the Supreme Court ruling on Thursday that upheld President Museveni's re-election for a 5th elective term.
If your political potency is diminishing, then you can easily be ignored. That's why I'm saying that unless really he has any other source of political legitimacy to draw upon, because we saw in the campaigns he didn't have that big following that was purported to have been existing. So unless otherwise, I would really think that JPAM is just a paper tiger maybe, but not surprisingly an outcome of our nature of politics.
Mbabazi petitioned the court seeking the nullification of Museveni's victory, but Dr. Brian Kalenge, a political analyst and lecturer of criminal and human rights law at Uganda Christian University, disagrees with Professor Aichiri.
You rarely find someone who runs for the first times and wins it outright. Most of any political office, even MPs, people run 3, 4, 5 times before they ever get to become MPs. So now he's known in the country. He's known as a serious politician, someone who has ambitions for the top office. So I guess it's now time for him to build on that.
Professor Aichiri gives some credit to Mbabazi though. She argues that Mbabazi, who insists he is still a member of the NRM party, remains a threat to the party as long as the NRM house is not in order.
Because he was an insider, he was a strong actor, he was a central actor within the party as a Secretary General, but not just as a Secretary General, a particular Secretary General, because this Secretary General...
She cites people like Major General Kahindo Tafire, a historical who defied the party and stood as an independent, but lost in the parliamentary elections of February. Many NRM leaders, including party chairman President Museveni, have previously said that Mbabazi is not a threat to the party. They instead urged him to come back home. These include Kasule Lumumba, who succeeded Mbabazi as Secretary General.
If possible, we should have some senior political advisors in this country to advise him, because you know the loss he has made, the double loss, he needs some political counseling, because it is human. He's not happy about it. I would also be surprised to see him so happy about it.
A few hours after the Supreme Court verdict was announced, Mbabazi told a news conference at his Go Forward Pressure Group offices in Nakasero that he will announce his next move in the coming days after consulting the different political players who supported his presidential bid. These include a section of Democratic Party led by Norbert Mao, the UPC faction of Olaro Tunu, and the People's Progressive Party.
We cannot have an exhaustively comprehensive plan at this time. The ruling has just been given. I am yet to meet our team of lawyers and our colleagues in the leadership, the political leadership. We will meet and we shall review the ruling and the current political situation and determine our next course of action.
But what other options does Mbabazi have to remain politically relevant?
It is time for him to put his money where his money where his mouth is.
He needs to build a party structure from which then, or which can form a platform for him to stand and, as his slogan, go forward.
Some scholars argue that Uganda is ranked among countries with hybrid democracy, where the judiciary, executive and the legislature seem to be operating independently. But what plays out on the political scene stashes Uganda far from being a democratic country.
The hybridity is inimical to organizational development. It's inimical to institutional development. So even opposition parties are actually a victim of this politics.
Analysts say that multi-party democracy to thrive in Uganda, there is urgent need of fairness at all levels. Sudhir Byaruhanga, NTV.